Hey guys, welcome back to another video here. Today we will be discussing 5 players in NBA that have been to jail. But before we start the video, please subscribe to our channel to show your support and don't forget to hit the like button. Let's get into the video. J.R. Smith was probably one of the best players that we have right now in NBA, but back when he was a shooting guard in Denver Nuggets, things didn't go really well. In June 2007, on a Tuesday night, an SUV that Smith drove crashed into a stop sign and another car in Millstone Township. A 21-year-old Andrew Bell, which is Smith's friend, and another passenger in the SUV died in the accident. The woman that was driving the car that got crashed by Smith was injured but recovered. Smith only suffered scratches and an injury to his left shoulder. When the police checked, the data recorder in the SUV showed that he was driving 67 miles per hour in a spot where the speed limit was 35 miles per hour. At that time, Smith was 23 years old and a shooting guard for Denver Nuggets. He expressed his regrets and said that he never thought it would turn out like that. The consequence of his actions is that he spends 90 days in jail, but in the end, he only serves 30. He needs to spend 500 hours doing community service by visiting sick children at the hospital, and he got his license suspended for 2 years. It's sad now seeing Delonte because Delonte was a great player, but he needs to retire from the league because due to his bipolar disorder. Delonte West was a former NBA player and also LeBron's former NBA teammate in Cleveland Cavaliers. In 2012, Delonte West played his last NBA game as a member of Dallas Mavericks because he is diagnosed with bipolar disorder and it caused his erratic behavior. After the NBA waved him off, he got signed by the Texas Legends of the NBA D-League, Fujian Shunxing of China, Los Angeles Clippers for the 2014 NBA Summer League, Shanghai Sharks, Guaros de Lara, the Liga Profesional Baloncesto, and the Texas Legends. He got waived by the Legends because of suffering a season-ending injury. While he was riding a Can-Am Spider, he was pulled over because of a traffic violation on September 17, 2019. During the check, the police found that West had 9mm Beretta pistol in his waistband, Roger 357 Magnum revolver strapped on his leg, and Remington 870 shotgun in a guitar case. West was arrested and had a court appearance on November 20. He said he was moving the weapons to other places because his mother found his cousin's children in a closet at his home. He was accused guilty of the traffic charges and the weapon charges. The consequences are he was sentenced to electronic monitoring, unsupervised probation, 40 hours of community service, and physiological counseling. Kyle Lowry was one of the greatest players that the Raptors ever had. He even led the Raptors to a 2019 NBA championship together with Kawhi. But before that, he ever did something that made him look like a bad player. According to the report, Lowry and other NBA players are playing a game in Las Vegas, and the game started heating up. Lowry throws a basketball twice and even threatened the female referee Infinity Robinson. Lowry appeared in court on 2 February reportedly to face 6 months in jail or a charge up to $1,000. The charges still come to even Lowry apologized to Robinson after his outburst. The 2 male referees also said that Lowry was abusive to all of them throughout the game. Referee Bobby McCroy believes that Lowry can't control his own emotion. Since Lowry didn't throw a fist at the referee and apologizes, he only faces charges up to $1,000. Allen Iverson was one of the greatest NBA players that ever played in the NBA. But there is one moment that almost cost his whole NBA career, and we may not even ever see him play in the NBA if it's not because of the mercy that has been given. On February 14, 1993, when Iverson was still 17 years old, that night Iverson and his friends were hanging out at a bowling alley, and when another group approached them and that Iverson and his friends are being too loud. Soon a fight between 2 groups. The groups that approached Iverson and his friends are predominantly white, while Iverson and his friends were all black. So maybe this was a racial incident with both parties feeling entitled over the other. The police appear in the bowling alley and arrest Iverson and 3 of his friends. But the police didn't arrest anyone from the other group. Iverson was arrested and convicted to 15 years in prison. Because of the insufficient proof, Iverson was from the Newport prison facility in 4 months. And the Virginia governor, Douglas Wilder, gave forgiveness to Iverson. If it's not because of the forgiveness, we may not ever see Iverson playing in the NBA. Ron Artest was one of the NBA legends that ever played in the NBA, and he was a good player. Artest was arrested March 5 at his estate in Loomis, 25 miles northeast of Sacramento, and was released from custody after posting a $50,000 bond. A Blair County sheriff's report said Artest grabbed a woman and pushed her down, then slapped her face during an argument. The report, which did not identify the victim because it was a domestic violence incident, said Artest took a phone from the woman the first time she tried to call 911. When she reached 911, the woman at first complained that Artest was taking the family Hummer from the home, according to a recording of the call released by the sheriff's department. 5 days after his arrest, Artest said he'd stumbled as a father and husband and apologized to his wife and family, as well as to the Kings and his teammates. Immediately after the arrest, the county sheriff's department obtained an emergency protective order that prevented Artest from returning to his home or contacting the woman until she could obtain a restraining order.